Out here, surrounded by endless water, it's easy to feel a sense of invincibility. The waves stretch to the horizon, the sky changes with the wind, and you're part of a crew that keeps this floating city alive. Strong, capable, ready for anything. But ask any seasoned seafarer, and they'll all say the same thing. Fire is the one thing you never want to face. Why? Because out here, there's no fire station just around the corner, no sirens coming to your rescue, no one else but you and your crew. If a fire starts on a ship, it's up to us. No excuses, no second chances. That's why fire safety on board isn't just a box to tick before departure. It's not a poster on the wall or a chapter in the SMS. It's a mindset. It's a culture. It's something you carry with you every day, every shift, every watch. In the next hour, we're going to walk you through every angle of fire prevention. Not just rules and routines, but real understanding. The causes, the warning signs, the systems in place, the mistakes to avoid, the correct responses, fast and focused, that can make the difference between a near miss and a full-scale emergency. This training could save your life, or your shipmates, or the vessel itself. And when you're thousands of miles from land, that matters more than anything. So pay attention, ask questions, reflect on what you learn, because when the heat rises, we don't panic, we act. Let's begin. Let's break it down. Let's get to the core of what makes a fire. And more importantly, how to stop one before it starts. A fire needs 3 things to come alive: heat, fuel, and oxygen. This is what we call the fire triangle. Simple concept, powerful truth. Take away just one of these elements, and the fire cannot survive. But here's the challenge. On board a ship, all 3 of these elements are present, constantly, and often in very close quarters. Let's start with heat. It's everywhere. The engine room runs hot. Galley stoves fire up every meal. Electrical systems generate heat, especially when overloaded or poorly maintained. Even sunlight on metal can cause surfaces to reach dangerous temperatures. Now, fuel. Ships are filled with it, not just diesel in the tanks, but lubricants, hydraulic oils, paints, cleaning agents, and even the wood in your bunk. And don't forget personal belongings, plastic, paper, alcohol-based products, all potential fuel. And finally, oxygen. You don't see it, but it's all around you. We breathe it to survive, and fires feed on it to grow. In a confined space, even a small spark can explode into an inferno if oxygen levels are high enough. That's why ships are classified as high-risk environments for fire. It's not about if the ingredients are present, it's about when they come together. And here's the hard truth. In most shipboard fires, the cause wasn't some unavoidable accident. It was human error. A leak that went unnoticed. A cigarette butt flicked into the wrong bin. A circuit that should have been isolated but wasn't. A rag soaked in oil left too close to a hot surface. This isn't just theory. It's a mental checklist you carry with you every single day. You should be thinking, is there heat nearby? Is there anything flammable? What's the ventilation like? Could something go wrong here? Because when you understand the fire triangle, you begin to see the risks before they happen. And when you do that, you're not just working safely. You're protecting your ship, your crewmates, and your own life. The fire triangle isn't just for textbooks, it's your survival tool. Let's take a quick tour around a ship. You might think you know every corner, But have you ever looked at it through the eyes of a fire? These are your fire hotspots. First stop, the engine room, the heart of the vessel. It's hot, it's loud, and it's packed with machinery that runs non-stop. Diesel fuel, pressurized lines, flammable oils, electrical panels, all in a tight, enclosed space. A single oil mist leak landing on a turbocharger or exhaust manifold, that's not just dangerous, that's explosive. Fires here escalate fast, and if they're not caught early, they can cripple the ship. Next, the galley. It might seem harmless, even cozy at times, but it's one of the top sources of shipboard fires. Think about it. High temperatures, open flames, deep fryers, grease buildup, and, let's be honest, distractions. You step away just for a minute to check your phone or chat with a crewmate, and that unattended pan could ignite faster than you realize. Never leave cooking equipment unattended, ever. Now, let's talk about the accommodation spaces, where you relax, sleep, charge your devices, and maybe break the rules. Smoking in cabins is strictly banned, and for good reason. One smoldering cigarette in a bin, or one spark from a phone charger plugged into a worn outlet, and your bunk can go up in flames. And worse, you're asleep when it happens. And don't forget the cargo hold. It might be out of sight, but it should never be out of mind. Certain cargoes, especially chemicals, flammable liquids, or poorly stored drums, pose serious fire hazards. If they shift, spill, or get exposed to heat, you've got a major problem on your hands. Even cargo dunnage soaked in oil or stacked near a hot bulkhead can become a threat. Here's the thing. Fire doesn't need a grand opportunity. It doesn't wait for a perfect storm. It only needs a crack in our attention. One mistake, one shortcut. That's all it takes. So wherever you are on board, engine room, galley, cabin, cargo hold, stay sharp. Fire is always waiting for that one chance. Don't give it one. Let's be honest, nobody signs up for a life at sea because they love cleaning. Sweeping, wiping, storing, sorting, it's not glamorous. But when it comes to fire prevention, housekeeping is your first line of defense. Think of it this way. Fire feeds on chaos, on clutter, on carelessness. And good housekeeping, that's what keeps those risks in check before they even have a chance to ignite. Let's start with oily rags. You finish working on machinery, wipe down a greasy part. What do you do with that rag? If your answer is stuff it in the corner or leave it on top of a drum, think again. Oily rags can spontaneously combust. Yes, they can't ignite by themselves. That's why they go into self-closing metal bins designed specifically for that purpose. No shortcuts. What about spilled oil? Engine room, workshop, galley, wherever it happens. If you see it, clean it immediately. Not after lunch, not when someone else comes along. Later could be too late. That puddle is a fire hazard and a slip hazard too. Now look around your passageways and escape routes. Are there boxes stacked up? Tool bags in the corner? Fire doesn't wait for you to clear a path. If the alarm sounds and your way out is blocked, you're trapped. That's not an inconvenience, that's life or death. Flammable liquids, solvents, cleaners, fuels, these aren't just everyday items. They're high-risk materials. Keep them in approved lockers, properly sealed and labeled. No mixing, no overfilling, no keeping them just for convenience near the engine. Before you leave any space, stop and ask yourself, if a fire started right now, could I escape quickly? Could I reach the extinguisher? Could I even see it through the clutter? Could I find the gear I need to respond? Because when the smoke comes, it comes fast. And in that moment, you'll wish everything was where it's supposed to be. A clean ship isn't just about pride. It's about survival. It's about respect for your crewmates and for yourself. A clean ship is a safe ship, full stop. Think fast. If the fire alarm went off right now, what would you do? Where would you go? What action would you take? More importantly, would you panic or would you respond? Here's a question you should always be able to answer. Where's your nearest manual call point? That red box on the bulkhead, it's not just for decoration. If you see smoke or fire, don't hesitate. Break the glass. Activate the alarm. Seconds matter. And what's your zone number? Every vessel is divided into fire zones. It's how we locate and respond to fires quickly. Knowing your zone helps the bridge and firefighting teams isolate the threat. It's part of your job to know where you are and how to describe it clearly in an emergency. Now let's talk about the detection systems. Smoke detectors, heat sensors, flame and gas detectors. These silent sentinels are working around the clock, 24/7, watching, sensing, scanning. But here's the thing, they only work as well as the crew maintaining them. That means testing, checking, calibrating, and reporting faults immediately. And yes, that job might fall on you. Don't assume someone else is checking the systems. Don't wait for a technician. Be alert. Be responsible. And then there's the fire doors. Critical barriers designed to stop fire and smoke from spreading through the ship. But too often, someone wedges one open just for a bit of air or to make access easier. Don't. You're literally compromising the ship's fire integrity. That door might be the only thing standing between you and a firestorm. When the alarm rings, hesitation is your enemy. Don't wait to be told. Don't look around to see what others are doing. Move. Raise the alarm if it hasn't already been triggered. Inform the bridge clearly and calmly. What you saw, where it is, what's happening. Then proceed to your muster station. Don't run, but don't delay. Gear up. Be ready to respond, to assist, to lead if needed. Because in those first minutes, you're not just a crew member, you're the front line. Know your systems, know your ship, know your role. When fire strikes, we don't guess, we act. Let's make one thing clear. Firefighting at sea isn't about heroism. It's not about who's the toughest or who can run into smoke first. It's about being prepared, calm, trained, ready. When fire breaks out, adrenaline will spike. Visibility might be zero. Alarms will be screaming. But in that chaos, your brain needs to know exactly what to do. Because hesitation costs time, and time costs lives. Start with your extinguishers. Not all are the same, and using the wrong one can make things worse. CO2. That's your go-to for electrical fires. It doesn't leave residue and it won't short-circuit equipment. But don't use it in tight spaces without proper breathing gear. It can displace oxygen. Foam. Perfect for flammable liquids like fuel and oil. It cools the fire and forms a blanket to stop reignition. Dry powder, the jack of all trades. It works on Class A, B, and C fires, solids, liquids, and gases, but it reduces visibility, makes breathing difficult, and can be messy. Think twice in enclosed areas, and remember this like your life depends on it. Never use water on oil fires. It'll cause the fire to spread instantly. And never use water on electrical fires, unless you enjoy turning yourself into a conductor. Beyond extinguishers, you need to know your fixed systems. Know how to operate the fire pump, not just in theory, but in practice. Know where the hydrant keys are stored. Don't waste precious seconds searching. What about your SCBA, your self-contained breathing apparatus? Have you worn it recently? Trained with it in low visibility? It's not like putting on a backpack. In smoke-filled corridors or the engine room, it's your only chance to breathe and stay alive. And here's the truth. The time to figure this out isn't during an emergency. It's now, during drills. That's why we train. That's why we run simulations, rehearse fire scenarios, and check our gear again and again. Because the fire doesn't care if it's a drill or the real thing. It will burn just the same. So take your training seriously. Practice like it's happening right now. Because one day, it might be. And when it does, you'll be ready. Let's get one thing straight. Fire drills aren't just about ticking boxes or filling out paperwork. They're not just to keep the office happy or satisfy an audit. They are your rehearsal for survival. The muster list isn't just a laminated chart on a wall. It's your lifeline. It tells you exactly where to go, what to bring, who you report to, and what your role is. In an emergency, there's no time to guess. You follow that list like it's instinct. When the alarm sounds, move immediately. No chatting. No, just finishing something. Grab your life jacket. Head straight to your assigned station. Every second counts. Are you part of the fire party? Then suit up fast. SCBA, fireman's outfit, tools. No wasted motion. Your response time could mean the difference between controlling the fire or losing control completely. Not on the fire team? Don't relax. Stay alert. Stay clear of the hazard zone. Be ready to assist if called. Every role is vital, from communication to crowd control to backup support. Here's the hard truth. When a real fire breaks out, it won't feel like a drill. It will be loud, hot, confusing. People might panic. Equipment might fail. Smoke might blind you. There will be shouting, alarms, movement in every direction. That's the chaos. But your training, that's what brings order. You won't rise magically to the occasion. That's a myth. You will fall back to the level of training you've repeated, drilled, and committed to muscle memory. So take your drills seriously. Every one of them. Treat it like the real thing. Don't play around. Don't just stand in. Don't pretend to know what you're doing, because one day it won't be a drill. One day, someone may be counting on you to act fast, to stay calm, to know your job perfectly. And when that moment comes, you'll be ready, because you trained like it mattered, because it does. Fire prevention isn't just another line in the SMS. It's not something you do once a week during inspections. It's not a job assigned to the safety officer or the engineer. Fire prevention is a mindset. It's in the little things, the everyday habits, the quiet decisions no one else sees. It's remembering to switch off that coffee pot in the galley before heading to your watch. It's reporting that loose wire you noticed in the panel, even if it still works. It's stopping to clean up that small oil spill in the engine room, not because someone told you, but because you know it matters. Because at sea, you don't get to say, "It's not my job." there is no fire brigade coming. We are the response team. Every one of us. Don't wait for someone else to spot the hazard. Don't assume someone else will fix it. If you see something wrong, act, speak up, fix it, report it. That's real seamanship. That's what makes a safe crew. And remember this, the best fire you'll ever fight is the one you prevented, the one that never happened because you were alert, because you cared, because you didn't ignore the signs. So stay alert, stay trained, stay sharp. Fire doesn't give second chances, but prevention gives us the best first chance. Until next time, stay sharp, stay prepared, and stay safe always.